Okay, the game's technically not over yet, but there's 9 minutes to go, and the Mavericks are the Mavericks are up by 20 points on the Clippers. And if you don't know how these teams are, the Clippers have James Harden and Paul George, notorious players of choking in the playoffs, and Luka and Kyrie are on the Mavericks, which are two of the best closers in the entire NBA. So I would heavily doubt the Mavericks would choke. So I'm preparing to talk about how my Thunder will whip the crap out of this Mavericks team. I thought Thunder would win in five last series. They won in four. I think Thunder in five this series. And I'm going to explain to you why real quick. First of all, we're going to prove to see who's the real MVP. If y'all question who's the MVP, you're going to prove it this. You're going to figure out this series, and you're going to figure out it's Shea. When things start going a little bit off, he's the guy who shows up. Saw that the Pelican series when big shots seemed to be made, Shea was the one who got in the ball, and he had a time today in this game that the Clippers scored about 15 straight points to come back and tie the game. Guess what? Luka wasn't doing anything during that time. Luka was not making the shots during that time. Luka was trying to hurry the ball up during that time whenever his team didn't need to. Shea does it perfectly. Shea, if he needs to do something, he will do it. And if he doesn't have to, he will wait for his right spot. Most valuable player means his team, he's the most valuable to his team in a way. That he doesn't have to need the ball at all times, but if he takes away attention from a player that's their main guy, then yeah, then that's very valuable. That's the most valuable part. If Herb Jones switches onto him, like last series, Herb Jones switched on to him a lot. Yeah, Trey Murphy switched on to him a lot. Alvarado when he guarded him. Alvarado didn't do that good of a job, I'd say. But you know the bigger forwards, he would get out the way, but also take them with them. Not just stand in a corner and let them help out. He would move to the wings. If the other guys on the other wings, so it would make them tough to rotate over. He would do stuff like that and let J-Dub, like Giddy not as much, but mainly J-Dub feast throughout that time. I still got the game going on in the background just in case if something crazy happens, which I doubt, but if it does, you'll see my reaction. And you're talking about like, okay, maybe the Mavericks are pretty good at driving the ball in. I would say that's one of their strengths is be able to get the ball into the side, inside the paint, and be able to execute there in ways either it's off of a double up top, either on Kyrie or Luka, then they pass it down to PJ Washington or Gafford or Lively or whatever, and they could probably drive in or kick out in the corner. Whatever happens, if you try to drive in, you saw what happened last series. You saw what happened throughout the entire year. Chet Holmgren's blocking it. Chet Holmgren did not allow a single. Whenever Chet Holmgren directly went up for any type of dunk that the Pelicans were going for, he blocked every single one. Every single one. He was the best shot blocker last series. In any series, the first round, he was the best shot blocker. That will translate. Kyrie trying to finish, Chet will block that. If Luka tries to do a floater, he will block that. Washington, Gafford, I know Gafford today, he had a play against Zubac that he ducked his head like a running back. You see like a fullbacks go into the end zone? Like they try to run through him and do like throw an elbow into it. He did that to Zubac and he didn't call it. You do that to Chet, you're getting that called because it's going to look a lot more like a foul than it would doing that to Zubac. So it's one of those, sometimes it's not it's not, if it is a foul, it's more what it looks more like a foul than not. So if you do that to Chet, he's going to fall. Like, he's going to move, which is going to be a foul on the offense. So you can't be doing that. But he's been tested. He's been tested against Valanciunas the entire last series. He knows how to play big. So if he has to, he will. And also, he's a good shooter. He was making his threes. Something the Mavericks don't have consistently is consistent big man shooting. Gafford can't, Lively can't, Washington can't, but it's mainly from the corner. Chet was hitting this throughout the entire side. Right wing could hit it straight on, left wing, corner three, of course. Any big man could really hit that nowadays. That can shoot reasonably well. But the main difference in this series, two main differences. One, the depth. I feel like we have a better bench, I would say. Isaiah Joe is a great shooter. I would say Cason Wallace, great defender on many levels. Jay Will, very good post player, post defender, I would say, when it comes to big body stuff. Comes to bodying up someone in the post defensively, he's great at that. When it comes to bench role, Gordon Hayward, he's just out there at times, I feel like. But he overall doesn't do that bad. He doesn't hurt the team. He just doesn't excel it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he has a good veteran experience out there, make sure everything's under control and all that. And that's just to mention a little bit right there. We can go full in depth if I really wanted to, but I'm not going to do that because there's one other part I really want to mention. Giddey's passing is great. You're talking about Luka's passing. Giddey's passing can almost equal him when it comes to the passing part. Offensive abilities, no. But just passing, yes. You're talking about, okay, your two main guys for them is going to be Luka and Kyrie. Luka and Kyrie, right? Well, Shea led the league in steals, so we can put him on one of those two. Or J-Dub if we want to switch out that way. Just don't let Giddey guard him, because Giddey would have a big problem. You know who the one guy that in the playoffs, especially recently, that has just locked down or since he started his career has messed up everyone who he's had to face in the playoffs or just anyone in general when he puts his mind to it in games on the line, very important games, who locks up everyone. The man who single-handedly helped Brandon Ingram 2 for 14 shooting in a closeout game, 5 for 17 in a game 1. You know who that is? He has his own nickname. In the bubble, he changed the way Houston Rockets had to play, brought him to a game 7 and almost won them the game 7 for the Thunder. As a rookie, because the way he played defense on James Harden. We call it the Dortcher Chamber, also known as Luke Gwinnett's Dort. He can lock up anybody, and he's going to be tested. I would personally put him on Kyrie. Because Kyrie's quicker. Kyrie can probably get more fouls directly on you. I mean, Luka's playing at a slower pace. We can switch that. We've played against slower paced teams before. I mean, the R2 can go slow pace and be okay. Kyrie, though, we need someone who's had experience against these specific guards. We're not throwing J-Dub on Kyrie and hoping for the best. I really hope we don't just do that. I am hoping we put Dort on him specifically. Why? Again, more experienced players. He's a veteran player. He's been in the league for a while. Kyrie very much has been in the league for over a decade. A lot of experience, a lot of success. But Dort has played against the best offensive players of the past 5-10 years. He can lock up people, especially guards and bigger forwards. I mean, smaller forwards and guards. I was surprised how good a job he did against Brandon Ingram. But I think how he did against Harden in a rookie season held him to very well. Very inefficient at the time by Harden. He's only improved. He's only improved as a shooter too. So he's giving you something offensively. There's a couple games, I feel like last series, that he actually outplayed Brandon Ingram offensively. And also locked him down defensively. Kyrie's playing better defense, by the way, which would be interesting to see how that translates. If he's able to consistently do that. But Dort, I bet, can clamp Kyrie up a bit. I'm not saying the full way. I'm not saying he will shut him down 0 for 17 type of style. 5 for 17, I wouldn't be surprised. 6 for 17, definitely not. You know what I mean? Yeah, still a 20-point lead. Yeah. But, you know what I mean? Wouldn't be surprised. I'm very pleased with Dort. I think this team will have a very, very good chance of winning. I think Aaron Wiggins is a big thing, too. He gives us very good minutes. He's one of the best three-point shooters percentage-wise in the NBA. He's going to be up there. Shea, he will get 30. Who's going to guard him? Derek Jones Jr.? You're going to throw the Derek Jones Jr.? Kyrie's going to guard him? Is Luka going to switch on the Shea? You do not want that dance. No big man can guard him. Dante Exum, you know for a fact he can't guard him. Is Tim Hardaway Jr. going to come back? Like, they got who do you have? No one can guard Shea. No one can. You've put the best defenders out there. No one can. And he's had experience right now against the Pelicans. They had some good defenders, and he made them look sorry. So that J-Dub's gonna be a big help. Chet, if he hits his threes, it'll be rapid. It might be done in 4 if he starts hitting some threes. The crowd is insane. That's like a 6 to 8 point swing right there in our favor. Crowd's really insane. And guess what? Luka, I mean, we're talking about just how he does in playoff series. Let's look in his history. He's done great against the Clippers. Yeah. Other series, Suns. Chris Paul was trash. First of all, Chris Paul was trash almost that entire series. Booker had some sorry games. Went to 7 games. Had some sorry games. Went to 7 games overall. You play the Warriors. You had Brunson who was doing good on the team. Luka, was he great? No, they lost in 5. They had a possibility they blew a 17-point lead in game 2. Why? Because the team got hot. The Warriors got hot in that game. You know who else gets hot? The Thunder. We have a time. We will find a rhythm shooting. Every single game we have a slow start at one point or another. We have a slow point, and then we will just hit our stride at least twice in a game. We will hit a stride, and you will just have to hope that we miss. Because your defense will not matter. We will make our shots. It just, we decide whenever we will miss. Type of thing. And you just got to deal with that. If you're up by 4 and you're down by 10 because we're on a 14-0 run, that sucks for you. But it ain't going to stop. It ain't going to stop at 8. It ain't going to stop at 10. It ain't going to stop at 12. It'll stop at 14. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. I don't know exactly how this is going to go. But I think first 2 home games, we will win. Show their advantage in home court. Show how good we are in clutch situations, too. Closing time, Shea's going to do whatever he can. Casey Wallace clamped up C.J. McCollum. Game 1, game on the line, clamped him up. So we're going to win our first 2 games. You're going to go to Dallas. You might win the first one. Game 4, though, we're not going to talk about how you were down to the Clippers by 30. You might look in the regular season and say, hey, we did have a moment that we were up by 30 on the Mavericks and let them come back at one point. But granted, that was a random game in the regular season. And guess what? We still won that game because we went on a run late, like 11-0 run, and we closed it out. Talking about these runs that we come on randomly, stuff like that. We will win this. We will win at least one of those games in Dallas. I think it's more likely that we're going to win both games in Dallas than they win both games in Dallas. Yeah. I'm very confident in our team. Mark Daigneault is the best coach this year for a reason. Coach of the year for a reason. This team is great. We're going to win this. We're going to be on to the Western Conference Finals. Whoever makes it out of the Timberwolves, Nuggets, I would bet the Nuggets. But man, those Timberwolves look real good. Yeah, I think right now the Mavericks, Kyrie's just going crazy right now. Dort's not going to let that happen. Dort's not going to let him go crazy. His second half performances ain't going to be a thing when it comes to Dort. 5 points in the first half, you'd be lucky to get 5 in the second. That's how Dort is. You rest, he rests. You play, he plays. It's going to be in a torture chamber. You're going to be locked up. Thunder in 5. Let's go. Put down in the comments your opinions about this. I know it's a longer review than I normally do. I'm just kind of rambling right now. It's 12 o'clock at night. I just want to talk. So, yeah. Hope you have a great day. Stay safe, y'all. And God bless y'all.